Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Yinzers at the Point podcast. I am your host, Tyler Aaron. If you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, it is at TylerAaron65, or you can follow the show's Instagram and Twitter at PenguinsFan65. And in today's episode, we are going to be reviewing the Detroit Red Wings at Pittsburgh Penguins preseason game that took place on last Sunday, September 27th. In the next segment, we are going to look at the game preview between the Penguins and the Buffalo Sabres that will be going down on October 1st at 1. And to wrap up this episode, we are going to look at, can Sam Poulin be the Penguins' new fourth-line center if Teddy Blueger does indeed leave Pittsburgh? And that is all coming up right after this intro. Alright, Yins, welcome back to this episode of the Yinzers at the Point podcast, and I'm going to go right ahead and dive into this first segment here as we will be reviewing the Red Wings at the Penguins game. This game took place on September 27th at PPG Paints Arena here, and the Detroit Red Wings did indeed beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 6-2 in this game, even with Pittsburgh playing pretty much their dress rehearsal game, as your notable guys like Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Jari, Jason Zucker, Ricard Raquel. Pretty much the Penguins, all their NHL players, did play in this game here. And Detroit, a little bit of a mix of their prospects and some of their newer NHL guys. Statistically, I thought the Penguins were going to win this one. I turned out to be really wrong on this one. So I'm going to go right ahead and go over the scoring summary here. So a minute 42 in, the Penguins scored. Brock McGinn scored to make it 1-0, 1:42 in, and that was unassisted. At 15:42, Dominic Kubalik for the Red Wings scored on the power play with assists by Filip Hronek and Michael Rasmussen. In the second period, 23 seconds in, Filip Zadina scores with an assist by Michael Rasmussen. And then at 5:01 for Detroit, Elmer Soderblom scored for the Red Wings to make it 3-1 with assists by Jonathan Bergeron and Austin Chiersnick. And then at 6:55, so around a minute and 45 seconds later, Steve Kampfer scores on the power play for the Red Wings, making it a 4-1 Red Wings game with an assist by Filip Zadina. And then at 13:16, Brian Rust scores with an assist by Jason Zucker, making it 4-2 Detroit. And then in the third period, 2 minutes and 34 seconds in, Tyler Spezza scores with an assist by Drew Worrad and Oli Mata. And then 10 minutes and 20 seconds into the third period, Dominic Kubalik nets his second of the game, a shorthanded goal too, and that was unassisted there as well. So the Red Wings beat the Penguins 6-2 in this game. Each team scored one goal each in the first. Detroit had 3 in the second and 2 in the third. Penguins had 1 in the second and 0 in the third. So not what you want to see as your entire NHL team playing prospects and new NHL players, I guess, with the Red Wings. But yeah, again, it is preseason. These games really don't matter. With that matter. 3 stars of the game. Brian Rust was the third star with 1 goal, 0 assists. Second star was Philip Zadina with 1 goal, 1 assist, and Dominic Kubalik with the Red Wings was your first star with 2 goals and 0 assists. Here, just for fun, attendance there at the game, 13,020, which is 72% on the capacity. So I know it really doesn't matter, but the Penguins do fall to a 1-2 record here. And we'll look at the team stats here. Detroit had 21 shots, 39 hits, 27 face-offs won. Face-off win percentage of 55%. 2 power play opportunities, 2 power play goals, 100% on the power play percentage, 1 shorthanded goal, 9 total penalties, 18 penalty minutes, 15 block shots, 20 takeaways, and 3 giveaways. For the Penguins, 33 shots on goal, 29 hits, 21 faceoffs won, which gives the Penguins a 44.7% win rate. Let's see, 9 power play opportunities for the Penguins in this game. Penguins scored 0 power play goals with a power play percentage of 0%, 0 shorthanded goals for the Penguins, 2 total penalties that they took, 4 penalty minutes, 6 block shots, 8 takeaways, and 7 giveaways. There's nothing really to it. I mean, if you go 0 for 9 on the power play, it's really something you need to work on. I mean, the Penguins just did not perform well in this game when it came to special teams. Again, they went 0 for 2 on the penalty kill, and they went 0 for 9 on the power play. That is really bad. Really what it comes down to is shooting the puck on the power play. The Penguins, they just pass way too much, and then they just waste all their time. I don't know what they're trying to do by passing it that many times, but you're not gonna do well on the power play. And even on the penalty kill, it wasn't too great either. Kasperi Kapanen, though, not in this game, but has been working on being on the penalty kill, as he did a lot in Toronto there for a while. So, again, just not a good performance, even by the goaltenders either. But, it's preseason again, and a lot of these players were seeing the ice for the first time. So, a few players that really did really well, too. Radim Zahorna played really well. He has a legitimate shot at this 12th forward spot and has been playing with the NHL team in training camp. Ty Smith, too, really good on that second power play unit. He can really turn into another Chris Letang here. And, he was like the backbone of that second power play unit, and I really liked what I've seen from Ty Smith these past 2 games that he's played in the preseason. Absolutely phenomenal. Again, looking back on this game, again, it's just preseason. It doesn't matter. Penguins fans should not be hitting the panic button with this, with how we played at all, really. But, again, the power play wasn't that good. I'm sure Mike Sullivan will go over it in the film room. So, again, that is going to do it with this first segment of the Yinzers at the Point podcast. So, coming up in the next segment, we are going to look at the game preview between the Penguins at Sabres that takes place today, actually. So, that is coming up right after this. Alright, Yins, welcome back to this episode of the Yinzers at the Point podcast. I'm going to go right ahead and jump into this next segment of the game preview for October 1st game between the Pittsburgh Penguins at the Buffalo Sabres. And I am going to go over the rosters real quick, as both the Sabres and the Penguins have released their lineups. So, without further ado, I'm actually going to start with the Buffalo Sabres here. So, On forwards for Buffalo, Rasmus Asplund, on Anders Bjork, Brandon Biro, Dylan Cousins, Vinny Hennestroza, Peyton Krebs, Brett Murray, Victor Olofsson, JJ Peterka, Jack Quinn, Matt Savoy, Tage Thompson, and Linus Westbach. On defense, they have Cale Clay, Jeremy Daves, Henry Jokiharju, Ilya Labushkin, Lawrence Poulet, Owen Power, and Chase Prisky. And then in goal for Buffalo is Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and Malcolm Subban. So, pretty much Buffalo's roster here is majority of their prospects. Guys like Peyton Krebs, Owen Power, Matt Savoy, Jack Quinn. Pretty much all of Buffalo's prospect pool is playing in this, with a handful of current NHLers such as Dylan Cousins, Rasmus Asplund, Tage Thompson, Victor Olofsson, and Malcolm Subban, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. So just to mix the two, which is exactly what the Penguins are doing too with their roster today. So I'm going to go right ahead and read the Penguins lineup here. All right, forwards, we got Drew O'Connor, Drake Caggiula, Alex Nylander, Ryan Pelling, Corey Andonovinsky, Nathan Legare, Philip Hollander, Kasperi Kapanen, Jamie Devane, Radim Zahorna, Kyle Olsen, Valtteri Puustinen, and Ravis Ansons. On defense for the Penguins, we have Chad Ruedel, Ty Smith, Jack St. Ivany, Mark Friedman, Xavier Hallett, Colin Sawyer, and P.O. Joseph. And then in goal is Tristan Jarry and Dustin Tokarski. So, again, a little bit of a mix between the prospects in the NHL team. This is going to be pretty much a game. This is going to be a big for the Penguins when picking that 12th forward spot, as Radim Zahorna's playing, Valtteri Puustinen's playing, Ryan Pouling's playing, Drake Caggiula, Drew O'Connor. This is pretty much going to be one of the games that will determine who will be on the second line, or the 12th forward this season for the Penguins. I am seeing right now Ty Smith is playing too, and I think he can be quarterbacking the power play here. And I'm hoping that Ty Smith will be quarterbacking this first power play unit, because he's played really well these past two games this preseason. Heck of a skater. He already looks better than John Marino, but I saw someone on Twitter saying a hot take on Ty Smith already looking better than John Marino, especially since we also got a third-round pick in that deal. As of right now, I don't know how John Marino is doing in New Jersey, or even if he's played a game yet with them, but I feel like already the Penguins are, winning this trade here. So, again, with those lineups, I would imagine Tristan Jarry will start and play half the game, and then Dustin Tokarski will come in, who's playing his former team with the Sabres. And I would imagine Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen for Buffalo will be playing or starting for the Sabres, and having Malcolm Subban play at the second half. So, score prediction here. I have the Penguins winning this one 3-2 in this game. Goal predictions, I am going to say Tage Thompson gets one, and Jack Quinn gets one for Buffalo. And for the Penguins, goals by Radim Zahorna, Valtteri Puustinen, and Corey Andonovinsky. So that is my score prediction for this game. I forget what I said my score prediction was from that Red Wings game, but I know I got that one wrong. But, so, again, with that being said, that is going to do it with the second segment. But before I move on to our last segment here, I just wanted to say the Penguins have trimmed their training camp roster to 45 players. Glover, Chevkovsky, Kalmikov, Howd, Frasca, Maniscalco, Ortiz, Lizotte, and Reinke has been assigned to Wilkes-Barre Scranton's training camp in the AHL. So, down to 45 players on the training camp. We are getting so close to opening night. That is a little under 2 weeks now here, which is absolutely amazing. So, again, coming up in the next segment, we are going to look at, can Sam Poulin be the Penguins' new fourth-line center if Teddy Blueger does indeed leave Pittsburgh? And that is coming up right after this. All right, Yins, I am back with this episode of the Yinzers at the Point podcast. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the final segment of this episode, and it is, can Sam Poulin be the Penguins' new fourth-line center if Teddy Blueger does leave here? So I got thinking the other day with this, what if Teddy Blueger got traded like during the deadline or something? We know the Penguins want to move on from Teddy Blueger here. Again, they tried trading him to Montreal this year. I mean, the original offer for Jeff Petrie was Marcus Pettersson and Teddy Blueger for Jeff Petrie, and it just looks like since Jim Rutherford left, the Penguins have just had enough with them. It sucks. I'm a very big Blueger guy, but you know, I feel like it's time to move on from him as well. Clearly the management says too as well. And Sam Poulin, it's his time, man. He's 21 years old now. 2019 first round pick. He was the 21st overall pick for Pittsburgh. Has been playing everywhere. Played his first year with Wilkes-Barre last year, as he had he played a total of 72 games, 16 goals, 21 assists, 37 points, a plus-minus of -8, and yeah, that's pretty much it on Sam Poulin's first year in Wilkes-Barre. It was pretty much his first time playing in how should I say, like pro, like NHL level hockey. I should put it like that. But I feel like it's time. Sam Poulin has been playing really well in this preseason. The Penguins have been using him as a center too as well. And if Blueger leaves, I think that Sam Poulin, if we don't get another center back in a trade for Teddy Blueger, then I think it would make the most sense if Sam Poulin comes up, because he's ready. Another guy, too, with that matter, is P.O. Joseph, too. I think he's ready, too. But if he doesn't end up making the team this year, I think that opens up a great trade opportunity for Pittsburgh where, you know, we could dump off one of those bad contracts and maybe not give up a first-round pick for it, if you know. But moving on with Teddy Blueger. Teddy Blueger has played 4 seasons with the Penguins. We'll start off with 2018-2019. In 28 games, he had 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points, with a plus-minus of +7. In the 2019-2020 season with Pittsburgh, he played 69 games, scoring 9 goals, 13 assists, 22 points, with a plus-minus of +2. In 2020-2021 with Pittsburgh, he played 43 games, 7 goals, 15 assists, 22 points, with a plus-minus of +10. And last season in 65 games, he had 9 goals, 19 assists, 28 points with a plus minus of plus 12. So with Blueger, phenomenal penalty killer, too. I mean, a few years ago, right before Seattle came in, we had one of the best fourth lines in hockey with Teddy Blueger playing with Brandon Tanev and Zach Aston Reese. Easily one of the best fourth lines in the NHL, along with the likes of the New York Islanders, too. But, now Teddy Blueger's playing with Brock McGinn, which is a great penalty-killing guy, too. And who knows who's going to be on that right side as that 12th forward spot is being battled, whether that is, Drew O'Connor, Radim Sahorna, players like that. Maybe even Josh Archibald if he even makes the team. But, it depends. But it's time to move on from Blueger. Now, Blueger is on his final year of his contract. He's making a total of $2.2 million. So, I mean, the contract is a little hefty there, especially for a fourth line center. But with everything, it's time to go. I'm going to actually fact check myself here. I'm pretty sure Teddy Blueger's final year is 2.2, but I'm going to check. Yeah, it is 2.2 million, as he signed a 2-year $4.4 million deal 2 years ago. Yeah, so I was right on that. So again, with Sam Poulin, I think he's almost ready. I had a conversation on Twitter the other day with Hunter Hodes, with the Locked On Penguins podcast. It's a must-listen podcast if you are a diehard Penguins fan, so I'd recommend listening to the Locked On Penguins podcast. But I pitched this idea to him, and he's not really sure about this idea with bringing Sam Poulin up. He said that he'd rather just ride Blueger out. Again, he is on his final year. After this season, if Blueger doesn't re-sign with Pittsburgh or if we end up trading him early, I will definitely have a segment on a few replacements. I already have a few in my mind. Just for example here, I think the Penguins, depending on this, if this player has a good year in Toronto, Nicholas Aube-Kubel, I think he'd be a great fit here in Pittsburgh and is very inexpensive. Just one player, to name out. But I just thought that this was a cool little fun idea to think about if, Sam Poulin, can make that jump to Pittsburgh. He will be an NHL player in the next 2-3 seasons for sure. So it just depends on whether or not the Penguins want to have him down in Wilkes-Barre again, maybe even being a first call-up when injuries do occur. That's going to do it for this segment here, and the episode for that matter. So the next episode will be out on, October 3rd. So Monday, October 3rd. The Penguins will be playing the Detroit Red Wings in Pittsburgh. So again, I will go over the Penguins-Sabres game and do a game preview, and then I'll have a little fun segment to finish off that episode. Just to clarify, the Penguins versus Buffalo game is on ATT Sportsnet, NHL Network, and 105.9 The X. And actually, the game in Detroit, there's actually no broadcast thing. Nothing on the Penguins website or nothing. You can only follow along with @Penguins and @Pens Inside Scoop. So, it's unfortunate there won't be even a radio feed or anything, but it's all good for that game. That game is at 7:30 at Little Caesars Arena too. And then The Penguins will wrap up the preseason on that Friday, October 7th, versus the Buffalo Sabres at the Paint Can at PPG Paints Arena, and that will be televised on AT&T Sportsnet. And then after that, it's Penguins season time, as literally 6 days later on October 13th, they're playing the Arizona Coyotes to start the regular season. So again, that is going to do it for this episode of the Answers at the Point podcast. I am your host, Tyler Aaron. Again, if you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, it is at TylerAaron65, or you can follow the show's Instagram or Twitter at PenguinsFan65. So again, thank you all for listening to this episode, and I will talk to yins all on Monday.